any given point in time, we all want to achieve something. But the problem is that we fantasize what our life would look like after we have achieved it. We hardly ever think about the process of achieving it. This video is about sorting out that process. I've come to realize that the key to achieving anything in life is making it as easy as possible to achieve. It lies in reducing any friction that is there between where you are right now and where you want to be, which basically means creating a system that allows you to reach your desired goal or desired outcome. I first came across the concept of systems in James Clear's Atomic Habits. Since then, I have come across several blog posts, several videos on the internet that talk about the same thing. But what I found missing in most of these was the process of actually creating a system that works for you. Another issue that I found in what most of these blog posts and videos talk about, and even what sometimes James Clear talks about, is this concept of setting systems instead of goals. It is pegged as an either or option. So according to me, it's not an either or situation, mostly because systems more often than not start out as a means to an end, which is our goal, right? We put in place systems in our lives subconsciously most of the time to reach a desired outcome. For example, my grandma waking up at 5 a.m. every single morning till the time that she was alive. It started out because she had to wake up at 5 a.m. in order to get to her job, and before going to her job, she had to fulfill all her household responsibilities. Had that situation never arisen, she probably wouldn't have had this kind of a lifestyle. So having a goal in itself is a good thing. I don't think it's an evil thing or something that's negative, because goals can really give us that initial boost in motivation. They can propel us in the direction that we want to go to. But like James Clear says, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So in order to achieve that goal, while initial motivation is great, that is not something that is going to sustain us in the long term, which is where systems come into place. Now, this also means that as our goals change, so do our systems, because one system is not going to carry you through life. Oftentimes, there are certain habits in some of these systems that can be adopted for life and that can have like a trickle-down effect on most areas, most aspects of your life, which is great. But it often doesn't start out that way. And if you think about it that way in the beginning, it can often seem very, very intimidating. To think about waking up at 5 a.m. for the rest of your life, for example, would be a lot more intimidating than just thinking about waking up at 5 a.m. for the next few days. So in this video, we are actually going to talk about how to create a system for yourself, no matter what your goal is, so that once you get on the journey, you don't quit midway like most of us tend to do when we set out to pursue our goals. So to break it down a little bit, every system is made up of a group of routines or habits that, when clustered together, form this whole scenario that pushes you, propels you forward in the direction that you want to go into. So let's break it down for you and let's get started. The first thing that you want to do is get clear on what it is that you want to achieve. And that doesn't mean just knowing what you want to achieve. It also involves understanding why you want to achieve it. Basically getting clarity about the reason, the basis for why you want to go after a particular goal. The idea is to keep asking why till you reach your core reason. This is something that's called the why drill, and the term was given by this author Stephen Guise, who writes on behavior change. He has this wonderful book called Mini Habits. So let's say you have a goal to run a 10K. Ask yourself, why is it that you want to run a 10K? Let's say it's because you want to achieve a fitness-related feat. Again, ask yourself why you want to achieve a fitness-related feat. Probably it's because you want to prove to yourself that you're strong. Again, ask yourself, why do you want to prove to yourself that you're strong? Probably it's because you need to feel confident in your physical abilities. Why do you need to feel confident in your physical abilities? It could probably link back to you being bullied as a kid for not being strong enough or not being as strong as the other kids, and that is your core reason. By the time you reach the 5th or the 6th round of asking yourself this series of why, you will have your core motivation. And this is super important because this is what you keep coming back to when times are tough, when you don't want to work on this particular goal, even though you know that you have to. Once you have your core motivation figured out, the second thing that you want to do is set your keystone habit, something that will propel you towards your goal every single day. A keystone habit, according to James Clear, is one habit that sets into motion your entire system of achieving that goal. To give you an example of what a keystone habit looks like, let's again take the example of you running a 10K. So if you want to run a 10K, or if you want to reach a point where you're running a 10K at a consistent pace without taking any breaks, you will need to practice running daily. Let's say you work a 9 to 5, which means you don't have time in the evenings to go for a run. And so you need to take time out every morning to go running. Probably that requires you to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day so that you can go running. So waking up at 5 a.m. here becomes your core or keystone habit, because unless you wake up at 5, you're not going to have the time to go for your running on an everyday basis. So now you have your motivation, you have your core reasoning for why you're doing something, you have your keystone habit figured out. The next thing that you want to do is build a routine around that keystone habit. So essentially, the purpose of a keystone habit or a key habit is to act as the trigger for your routine, a routine that propels you in the direction of this goal that you want to achieve, right? So now your goal is to run a 10K every month, and you are using waking up early as the trigger to set that into motion. You will need to build up a routine around that keystone habit in order for your brain to realize that once you've woken up, it's a cue for your brain to tell you that you need to go running. For example, let's say I wake up at 5 a.m., I brush my teeth, I freshen up, and I go for a 20-minute or a 30-minute run at 5:30 a.m. Once you have this in motion, once you start practicing this every single day for about a month or 2 months, your brain, the moment that it wakes up, it will give your body the direction that once you've woken up at 5 a.m., the next thing that you're actually going to do is go running at 5:30 a.m. So once you have your routine going, once you have your routine built, it basically primes your brain into taking a particular action that you want to take as soon as the keystone habit is performed. So as soon as you wake up as 5 a.m., you know that you have to go running at 5:30 a.m. Till now, it sounds all fun and easy and games. But the problem is that you are bound to encounter problems, friction along the way when you start out building this routine and building this habit. So the fourth thing that you want to do is reduce as much of the friction as possible. And this is an initial thing. It's super important to do initially, because if you don't make it easy on yourself in the beginning, you are not going to be able to form that routine and form that habit that pushes you in the direction of your goal. By reducing friction, I mean you make your target really easy to achieve. So let's say every morning at 5:30 a.m. you have to go for a run. You are already waking up at 5 a.m. You do all of your freshening up routine in the morning. But then one day you find that your shoes are wet from running in the rain the previous day. So you're like, I can't run in wet shoes. Or you find that all your running clothes are soiled and they're not washed and you don't have anything to wear for your run today. These are all the little things that cause a lot of friction in achieving your routine or your habit. So what you ideally want to do is set out your shoes, your clothes, your water, anything else that you need for your run in the morning right the night before. That way, every morning that you wake up, you already have everything set and ready to go, and that reduces a lot of this extra tiny bit of effort that you have to make. And usually, in most cases, it's this tiny effort that prevents people from forming the habits that they need to form. It's an even better idea if you can keep everything in plain view. So the moment that you wake up and you can see your running shoes and your running clothes right there in front of you, you are more likely to stick to your routine and stick to your habit till it becomes a regular part of your life. Okay, so you've taken care of the immediate roadblocks that you believe can happen. But what about an unforeseen event or something that you were not expecting happening, or maybe you have to leave town for a family emergency? What do you do in such a scenario? Here, I like to follow this concept called the 2-day rule. And it's something that I came across in a video done by Matt D'Avella, who happens to be one of my favorite creators on YouTube as of now. So basically what the 2-day rule is, that whenever you're trying to build a habit or a routine, there are unexpected roadblocks that are going to come your way. The idea is to not miss your habit or the routine that you're trying to build 2 days in a row. And that is such a genius concept. So let's say you had to leave town for a family emergency. You know you're going to be there for 5 days, and you know that today your entire day is going to be spent traveling, so you will not have time for your run. But if you carry your running shoes, if you carry your running clothes and whatever extra accessories it is that you use for your run, you can easily go there and continue your routine even though you missed one day. The point is ensuring that you don't miss doing this 2 days in a row. If you skip one day, your brain can easily adjust to that fact and go back to your routine, because that's what your body is now used to. But once you miss more than one day, once you start missing 2 days, it quickly turns into 3 days or 4 days or 5 days, and then your routine goes haywire, and before you know it, you are no longer performing that habit that you started out to. Another reason why I really like this rule is because it teaches your brain to prioritize your goals and your systems instead of prioritizing distractions. And that is such an important step in actually achieving the outcome that you desire to achieve. So now that you have all of that sorted out, the final thing that you want to do is keep a track of how your system is going and then revise it if necessary. Habit tracking apps or note-taking apps work really great for this. You can also use a physical journal or a bullet journal or something of that sort to just keep a track of your habit. You don't need to do this lifelong, but it really helps initially if you have some sort of a tracker. I usually mark things on my calendar whenever I'm setting out to do something new or achieve something new, and that can act as a supremely helpful thing. The other thing is that when you're building a system, when you're initially starting out, you are working off the basis of statistics or the probability of results, but not the actual results. But as you start putting the system into place, you start to figure out that certain things do not work out the way that you intended them to work out, which means that you will need to make slight adjustments to your system. For example, let's say you start out running at 5:30 a.m. every morning, and you've been doing this consistently for about 20 days, and then one day you have to fly to work really early in the morning, and by the time that you come back, you only have time to run in the evening, and you go for a run at 8 p.m. after your work is done, etc. And you find out that running in the evening is proving to be more beneficial for you. You have more energy, you run better, you have more, like your joints are more warmed up and things like that. And that is a tangible proof that running in the evening is probably a better idea for you than running in the morning. The ultimate goal is to reach a 10K. If you can reduce this friction, if you can actually be more energetic, less tired, and more warmed up, less prone to injury by running in the evenings, that is probably what you should switch to. You are still continuing that habit of running every day. Now in this case, then your keystone habit changes, which could probably mean like as soon as you get off work, you know you have to get ready for your run. Things like that. So tweaking your system is really, really important, because one system does not work for everyone. One system is also not going to carry you through life. It's super important to understand that systems need to change as your body changes, as your goals change, and that is something that needs to be kept in mind. Just because somebody has told you that this is what works and you're following it and you think it somewhat works, but you don't really know for sure. Experimentation, trying out different things, and eventually getting to a point where you know that this is the system that works for you, that is the main point. Guys, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you found some value in it. If you have been trying to set a habit, this is going to be supremely helpful, because this is something that I personally follow and I can vouch for. And yeah, let me know in the comments what is the current goal that you're trying to achieve, and if you do or do not have a system in place to achieve that goal. And yes, press that subscribe button. I see that a lot of people who watch the videos don't end up subscribing, so I'm not sure why that is, but it would be supremely helpful if you press that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers really quickly. And yeah, follow me on Instagram if you don't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.